What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Soul Talk. So happy to have you guys join us here today. I am your host, Kennedy Scribe Cash Story. And if you don't know about me, I do a combination of several different things, whether it's production, television, and film, or on the music side of things, rapping, singing, songwriting. But I wanted to kick off today's show by just getting straight into it. So, me and my fiance, we were having a conversation, right? And this was earlier today. Mind you, I am a mom now of a 1-year-old. And so for me, right, I'm just very much aware of like what my daughter Sky is ingesting as far as content, right? Shout out to Miss Houston because she's literally obsessed. So very much on educational, teaching, positive, like all of that, right? And mind you, she's 1, and so her screen time is just very much like limited in the first place. And so for a reason, because it's just really not good for their brains processing. And even when she does have screen time, we're actively talking with her, explaining things, and it's a lot of call and responses, right? But we were sitting here thinking, and it just randomly popped up. We were like, dang, remember like some of the just shows that we grew up on that was really kind of made for us, like what's his name? Why am I Good Burger? That was very much like a kids movie, right? We Can Go Grown Ups was like a family movie that like all the family can go to, whether it's teenagers, parents. Like, where are those films? Like, there's not a lot of those films. There's not a lot of those television shows being made now. It's just like no medium. Everything is, it's very much, it's either for the adult and it's action, it's sexy, it's all of that, and I don't have an issue with that. I watch that content, but I am an adult. Or it's for babies, like toddlers. I mean, now you got PBS is leaving, right? Netflix has content, but like, where is the stuff for teens? And even more specifically, like, where is the stuff for Black teens or kids that are kind of in the in-between stage, like right about to go to middle school, but before they get to be about 16 in high school, so they could like like really understand like more adult concepts. Where is the content? And so it made me say, like, I'm always about, okay, if somebody's going to complain, then clearly, apparently, I need to make something in that space. But like in general, like wholesome content is, I feel like, what's more needed. And I hope that this show is one of those things where you listen to the show or you watch the show, however you get the medium, and you feel good when you leave the show. That's really what I want. And especially in today's time when it's so easy for you to end up in this never ending loop of like negativity on your timeline, whether it's on, short form content on those social media platforms, or even just like on the major platforms where we're consuming television and film. And I'm just like, yeah, like, could everybody just sit down and watch something like, I like Wipeout. Wipeout is such a cool, it's just a universally just freaking funny show. Like, what happened to that? Or Extreme Home Makeover. Like, the only ones that I can think of that are kind of left are like America's Got Talent, American Idol, The Voice. Those are all very much like music and talented order, where it's like this scripted, just wholesome content. Like, I'm searching for it. And so I just want us to be able to do that. We should be able to have constructive conversations, whether it's on our podcast, but we should leave like feeling good at the end of the show, right? I feel like that is really what my goal is, a soul talk. So as certain episodes, I'm going to bring in guests. Certain episodes might just be me because I'll just be telling you guys about what I have going on in my mind, and we could just have a conversation back and forth between us. And if you feel me, you feel me. You can chime in the comments on social media and we can continue the dialogue there. But let's get into our hot topics and just kind of like industry talk for the week. So one of the biggest things that announcements that I saw this week, and I did a post about it on my Instagram, is the fact that Tyler Perry announced the another chapter, the Why Did I Get Married franchise. And so that's a big deal for several different reasons. Well, one, like, okay, so we look at some of his franchises. Obviously, Medea is the number one, just powerhouse kind of franchise. That has like it's very much its own vibe, right? Then I would say, like, Why Did I Get Married is probably number two. Why Did I Get Married? One, I mean, that table scene with Tasha Smith. Boom! Boom, it gets me like every single time. Like, I swear it gets me every time. And he's brought back table like deliveries to Sidebar. And then beyond that, like the second one when they went to the island, and it was really like the evolution of Jill Scott and her character and how she navigating have a new husband, and Lamont Rucker. Sorry, I forget the character names and the actor's name. And Richard T. Jones ends up getting cancer, and she helps him, and like that whole thing. And Janet was there. So what is notable that I noticed about this announcement was two things. Well, where's Janet? Let's take the elephant out the room. My guess, because what they were talking about was like the issue, it apparently it wasn't money, which I don't know, but we'll go with that. We'll go with what they say. It was scheduling. Well, Janet is constantly on tour. I can say that she doesn't leave tour, and maybe she's just not in the space. She's given us so many amazing performances. Maybe she's just not in the space to where she wants to act. Maybe that is the case. So where's Janet? Because I would have loved to see like what that was. Like, does The Rock come back? Like, that whole thing at the end, why did I get married to? Like, what happens next? But the thing is, if he gonna take somebody away, he gonna add another hitter. And who he added was Taraji P. Henson. So we're fresh off a straw, right? And now adding Taraji into the mix. And I guess he's supposed to be married to Taraji, and then Sharon Lill, who played his wife before, is I don't know if she's divorced or whatever, and it's somebody, one of the kids, who's getting married. Then what I love about Tyler is that he develops opportunities for new people. We see that he developed an opportunity for some fresh faces that we haven't seen. A couple faces that I've been kind of following as like a producer or whatever. Be like, oh yeah, I want to work with such and such. Obviously, Da Vinci is going to be and I'm like, okay, that's cool. He's stepping into the Tyler Perry universe. Like, how is that going to mesh? I think it's supposed to be, a combination of these old storylines and new storylines that we see develop, and how they show up in this wedding. And then I guess the question is going to be like, are they really done, or are they just kind of done? Tyler Perry and Sharon Lill. Then we got Michael Jai White, who is coming back, which is great. Everybody loves his character, Marcus, and then Tasha, and I'm sure they're going to end up being like the comedic relief in the film, because they typically are. Jill Scott and Lamont. So old faces and new faces. And what I really love about the whole thing is really just the fact that he listens, right? Like, he's tapped into the people. Most people, like most producers, mega producers, like, man, I ain't even thinking about that. I'm on this project, that project. Nah. They got up on social media, and there was a whole campaign between some of the cast members, right, to bring it back. But beyond that, this was the franchise we were asking for as fans of his work. Come here, bring this back. So shout out to Tyler Perry. Season 6 of The Family Business, I saw that. So many hitters in there. My boy Darren Henson, Brayley Evans is in that. Michael Jai White. First of all, Michael Jai White stay with a bag. Can we shout out Michael Jai White though? Like, can we really just shout him out? Because he stays with a bag. He does that little action stuff, like bow bow, beat him up. And then beyond that though, like, he really has some super dope acting performances that he's done in his career too. So shout out to him. Who else is in it? I saw Lisa Ray. I don't know if she's a new character. So I'll be honest, I gotta tap in with Family Business. For them to be on season 6 is like phenomenal. So we definitely need to support it. It's so hard for shows to go beyond 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons. Like, that's super hard. But season 6, like, that's tough. And then we got like heavy hitters, OGs. And it looks like the saga is just, everything's just developing even more. It gets more intense with what it is that they have going on. I love a good family drama. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like a good family drama. My mom said there was a show that they used to watch. It was based out in Texas. I don't know why I'm blanking. It's probably mommy brain. But they grew up watching that Dynasty. Dynasty, that's what it is. Dynasty. And they grew up watching that show, and it was just a whole bunch of characters, just all types of stuff. Everybody used to be glued to the show. And so it's good to see an African American version of Dynasty and like what that is like. So yeah, super dope. All right, moving on. So I did have this question. There was a question that I had that I was like, let me think about this. I have another friend who's an actor, and we were telling it to Mel, and we were telling him, like, hey, you should go on Love is Blind or Married at First Sight, right? Because he's in the point of his life where he wants to, settle down, find a wife, have some kids, all the things. He's in his 30s too, as well, for context, right? And so the note that he consistently gave back is like, I don't know, I'm an actor. I want to be an actor. If people see me on this show, like, what are they, is it going to be are they going to believe me in character? And so I said this, but I will pose it to you all here. I will definitely pose this question to you. I said, I don't think it matters anymore. I don't think it matters anymore. Here's why. One, because AI is coming, and hell, if you're gonna act, you better act now. I think you need to be double down on branding and people wanting to watch you because of you, right? Like, you need to double down on that. I still think people are gonna want to watch a Leonardo DiCaprio film, a Ben Affleck film, and a Denzel Washington film, because it's just something that just is texture and vibe and energy that they have that we love. So you better figure out how to make it happen. But two, I think that our audience is intelligent enough now to know the difference between this is somebody's art and this is somebody's reality. I think because we've had so much reality TV, the appetite is just so much different. I argued that you being on one of these shows, like, one, do it because you actually want to find love. Like, so there's that, right? We can talk about that later because I love both shows. Do it because you actually want to find love. But beyond that, right? What comes with being on one of those shows is a certain level of exposure. I think if you said that you were an actor, right, like or in the entertainment industry, right, people would support you in your dreams if you came in honestly about what it is that you did. And I think it lands on people differently because they're like, okay, he's in pursuit of his dreams. Now, mind you, he does other stuff too. But I think people were craving something organic too. And they were like, okay, well, we can support this person, right? We could see them in this show. I think it's possible. I really do. We've seen it so beyond the whole acting transition, right? We've seen so many people do it when it comes to music. We can look at Cardi B was on Love and Hip Hop, and she took her audience from Love and Hip Hop, got signed, right? She was making music already, but she took her audience from that, got signed, and then continued to grow and pop off. K Michelle, she had some hits, right? Hit is always relative, right? No mega hits like worldwide hits, but she had some buzz on some of her songs, and she was on Love and Hip Hop, and she took that and just kept on rolling. We could think about Omarion, right? And so Omarion had a solid career in B2K, but things had definitely toned down at the time. He kept making music. He got on Love and Hip Hop, which gave him a new spark of interest, right? Because sometimes that's all you need is somebody to say, "Boop, I want to pay attention. What happened to such and such? What does such and such have going on?" Right? And then next thing you know, post to be dropped, and then boom, he's on top of the world again, right? So, and then we've seen Omarion act, and I think he's stepping back into his acting bag again. I think that there's a possibility, and then even Ray J, you could say that he's dibbled and dabbled with everything. I think in today's time, having attention, unfortunately fortunate, having attention is the recipe for having initial start, like a catalyst of success. I don't think that it necessarily means that you're going to sustain it, because the thing is, I think that sustainable success is like, that talent, is greatness, is all those things, right, that keep you there. But unfortunately, in today's time, when it comes to acting, it doesn't necessarily get you there. And I will dive into that. So let's stay here for a second. Why does it not get you there? I think a lot of times people don't understand the producing aspect of things, because when you're producing a product, and I might get a little educational, but when you're producing a product, right, if you are a producer, your goal is to try to maximize, whether it's the audience, it's the money, a lot of times that's built in together, right, or the platform. And so traditionally, if you're not co-producing, so co-producing is when, let's say, you start off from inception, right? You start off from the idea, and you're working with a major platform, it doesn't have to be major, but for this example, a major platform like Netflix, and they're investing their money. Maybe you invested a little bit of money, but they're investing at the same time, and they know it's going to be on their platform. So if you're not doing that, which most people aren't, right? Then you're in the situation where you're producing it yourself and you're trying to license and land it someplace. And here's what comes with that. In order to license and land with someplace, right? If you are not a known, I didn't already have box office hits or multiple platform hits producers, what comes with that is you gonna have to have somebody up in that, right? And if you don't have somebody up in that, then it's not going to be on Netflix, more likely than not. So it's going to be on an AVOD platform, right? And so on an AVOD platform, your job is to get people clicks. So let's just do this from a layman's perspective, right? Let's say you've never been in the film industry whatsoever. When you scroll through Netflix, Tubi, BT, All Black, it literally does not matter. It applies to all of the. Where do your eyes tend to go to? Your eyes tend to go to some place that is an actor or an actress that's familiar, right? Typically it's the poster, that's what you see first. Then once you click the poster, then you watch the trailer, and based off of the trailer, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. Now in Tubi, they just recommend it. You could have been watching something else and they recommend it, but typically what's going to keep you in the film is if you recognize somebody, right? Or they catch you with the hook of the storyline. But for this, let's just bear with this thing. Right. So who is more likely to catch your attention, or people that you've known and you've seen? Well, in today's world, that is an influencer. All right. So an influencer, let's dive into that. What is an influencer? To me, an influencer is dang near no different than a reality TV star. Because an influencer has a certain amount of social media following. Usually a reality TV star has a certain amount of social media following, right? Ding. They have a reason why people follow them. It's whether the Instagram chick who's wearing them outfits a certain type of way, that could be a reason. Whether you're a musician, that could be a reason. Whether you sell product out of clothing line, that could be a reason. Or you're a streamer, it doesn't matter. An influencer, you have a reason why somebody follows you, and you have a certain amount of social media following, right? And so of that social media following, right, somebody's going to look at the numbers, and as a producer, you're like, okay, if I can get 10%, right? So 10% of, let's say this person has 1 million, 10% of 1 million is 100,000. That means I just got 100,000 people by putting this one person in my film to go to the movie. Okay, so then what is 100,000 clicks or 100,000 impressions being? What might end up being more impressions, but for now, 100,000 impressions equals how much dollars? That part. So that's why they're putting those people in the films. Now, as an artist, creative, I feel like you let the actors act, and you use the influencers to give them an opportunity if they want to really study acting, right? Or to bring people to the project. I don't think you should expect them to carry the whole project because they are not an actor on most cases, right? However, stay with me here. We're going to bring it all together. We're going to bring it on home, right? Let's say there was somebody who was an actor. Like my friend is an actor. And he became an influencer. He popped off for whatever reason. He popped off. It didn't matter if it was Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, or it was on TikTok. Whatever reason he popped off, he freaking popped off. Right? And then he got put in something because he had the numbers and he really acted his butt off. Then what do you think happens? Double dose. And so that is my argument, right? Where I'm like, I think in today's time, I tell all the upcoming actors, bro, you got to do both. You got to build your brand. You got to build your following, because you're literally faster to get into a project that way than by doing the audition process. Like, everybody's going after the same roles. And that doesn't mean if you're not phenomenal that you're not going to get it. But me being on the other side in the casting process, like, sometimes you're just not the right fit. Sometimes it boils down to, like, you were the wrong height and this other person was a better height and that looked better on camera. It could be, and it's horrible to say this, it could have been like skin tone matching. Like, okay, I need this person to complement this person's skin tone on camera. Like, it's literally the smallest details. And like, you might be the better actress, but this person is the better fit for the project. Or it could be like, all right, this person is technically a B- actor or actress, and you're an A+ actress or an actress, but this person has 1 million followers. So I'm going to go with this person and put it in here, and then I'm going to surround them with an A+ actor, but at least I got my following. And so if you're not understanding the business behind that, then you're just going to be frustrated in the process. So one, I told my friend, go to the dang show. First of all, go to the show, find your person, because I feel like as creatives, when we have our person, like we're just so much more settled in, we're able to lock into what it is that we can do. Like I can be a testament to that. Like I have my person. I love my fiance. And ever since the day that I met him, I just feel so much more just like whole. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Just like I don't have to look. I don't have to be out there. I don't have to go out. I never like going out anyway. But like I don't have to go out. I can literally just focus on what it is that I want to focus on. If I look at how much that I got done, despite me being pregnant for a whole year, like despite me being first year mom, like if I look at how much I got done versus some of my counterparts who don't have the like I was so much more focused. And a lot of the factor is because I have my person. They're out here still looking for love, and I already got it. I mean, I already had it, period. But like, I have it now. I have my family. So I would say that. I know that was a lot. But anyway, that's the point. Build your following, build your brand, and then keep going. All right, so the other thing that was on my mind was like, let's talk about reasonable doubt. Can we talk about reasonable doubt for a second? Can we talk about how amazingly entertaining yet freaking diabolical this like show is? Can we like really talk about this show? Let's talk about the behind the scenes though. Kerry Washington is one of the EP. So that, like, when I first found that out, they used that definitely in PR sense, and she really is though. But like, that's what made me click in the first place, right? Because I was not familiar with the lead actress. I was not familiar with the lead actor in season 1. I wasn't. So I was like, Kerry Washington, Reasonable Doubt, the name, like, it just, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm clicking this. It's on Hulu. It's in the ABC family. Like, yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be Shonda Rhimes-esque or anything, but I was like, this is gonna be good. Kerry Washington, ABC title, Reasonable Doubt. Boom, I'm clicking it, right? And then it was black. I'm like, yep, clicking it. So then I click it. And then they have Michael Ealy, like season 1, Michael Ealy, crazy. That whole storyline was insane. I don't want to ruin it for the folks who haven't seen it, but insanity is what that storyline, because she was cheating. And then season 2 is ludicrous. Okay, first of all, let's just put this out there, because if my fiance have a baby on me, that's it. That's like, we're not coming back from that. Like, it's divorced. Me and him, we played this whole scenario out. Like, we would have been divorced after that. If I have a baby and it's not his, and he have a baby and it's mine, that's it. We can't fix it. Start co-parenting. That's all it is. In this show, we talking about, and then she's also a boss chick lawyer. Like, first of all, this is only in, like, because this is not happening in real life. Like, in real life, that woman is leaving you, and she's not even blinking because Morris Chestnut is in her face. Like, are you kidding me? Morris Chestnut, she's gonna stay with you, and you're not even that fine. And it's not disrespectful, but like, there's levels to this. Like, Morris Chestnut, and then you, like, come on now, and then you have a baby. This show is literally insanity. This show is absolutely insane. So we're only on episode 1. We got to get into the rest of the episode. So we're behind. Don't ruin it for me. But episode 1, essentially the husband had a baby with. That baby, RIP, passed away. What's imaginary baby? But you get what I'm saying. The imaginary baby passed away, right? And then she sued them because she blamed them for the baby passing away, which is crazy, ludicrous. And then she was like, all right, I'll drop the lawsuit, but the husband got to spend one night for me. And me and my fiance was sitting there on the couch like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. Insanity. Like, literal insanity. So the point is, Reasonable Doubt is such a good show. I think it's a combination of the writing, I think the way it's shot, the textures. I love the palette. The color palette is just chef's kiss. They got like these greens and browns, and like whoever the DP is, well, I'm sure it changes from episode to episode because, yeah, but like the initial start and like the tonality of it, the acting is already, but the outfits, that's how I knew my girl Kerry was involved. Because remember, Kerry on Scandal, the outfit The outfits. I love a good shoulder pad. Can we talk about it? Like, if I'm a lawyer, trust and believe I'm gonna have shoulder pads on my suits, and they're gonna be fitted and they're gonna be custom because you making all that money. You need to be spending it, some of it, on looking good, and I'm gonna look good in them dang suits, just like our girl from Jackson Reasonable Doubts outfits fire, are fire. And then so was Morris Chestnut. He hit the double breast suit and he unbuttoned the. Oh my God. Just make. That's what I want to do sometimes. Just, it's a secret. Anyway, the show is phenomenal. The storyline keeps me going. It's just enough messy and just enough wholesome. It's just both. They be bumping and grinding on the show sometimes, and I'm like, can we just do that with Morris? But it's okay. We still watch. And we should still support, because it's so hard for, like, to get a show greenlit on ABC. Like, that's tough. You know how long that process might have been. And mind you, Carrie could have walked it in. So it's probably a little bit faster for Carrie, but still just as difficult. So let's make sure we support it. And it was very unfortunate that, like, let me get my water bottle. Like, the season opener, right? The season opener, I think, was around the same time that the whole kind of Jimmy Kimmel kind of boycott ABC thing hit. But nonetheless, we back over there, so let's make sure we support and we watch it. All right, next topic. Okay, so since we talked about, like, the big four, I feel like there's kind of like this concept in our head too of, like, what a big movie is, right? Well, you could feel a big movie. So the question that I have for you guys is, do we need, right? Do we actually need to do you need to be in $100 million film, like, to consider being, like, a star or superstar, and like, as an actor? And I'm not so sure anymore, because we have films now on Tubi that get millions upon millions of impressions and views. It was like 40 something million impressions and views in a week, which is crazy, right? I've had films that got 10 to 20 million impressions in a week. You know how many people that is that's watching that? And so, is it necessary? I do think, though, there is still a mega hit. So, which brings me to, like, I think social media is just so different now, though. Like, you don't really have to do that anymore, which is wild. Like, you don't have to do it because everybody has their own, like, followings, and there's people, like, think about how big, like, Kai Cenat is, like, as a streamer, like, and how many people follow him, right? And so he's like a mega star, or like Drewski and, like, those folks. So I don't know. I don't know if you need that anymore, but I still appreciate those films. Like the one, which is A Thousand Ways to Die or something, that just came out with Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, that felt big. It was huge, huge ensemble. What was the last big film? Those Marvel films are all huge, right? They all kind of have that feeling to it, right? They're international films. Sinners, to me, was a big hit. It ended up doing super numbers in the box office, and, like, as Black people, we all came out and supported. White people watched it too, so it had that kind of mega hit. Ryan Coogler has that, though. Like Creed, those Creed films, they were big IMAX vibe type theaters or type films, and so shout out to him for being able to pull that off. And so I don't know. I guess I'm gonna throw that one back at you guys. Do you need to have, in order to be an acting movie star, do you need to have $100 million box office hits? Because we got, like, Tubi stars that go crazy. Like, I mean, there's certain people who couldn't pull up in the hood without everybody trying to get their autograph. Like, that's how big they are. That part. So I don't know. I don't know on that one. Okay. So now it is time for my top five of the week. And so this week we're going to do top five artists that have turned actors. Now bear with me. Your list might be different, but this is my list. Okay. I'm going to tell you the list, and then I'm going to break down why first or afterwards. All right. So top five artists turned actors. Okay. In no particular order, right? But I'm going to start with Ice Cube. I feel like Ice Cube has a crazy catalog. And you know what? And I'll just say list. We'll come back. Ice Cube, 5. LL Cool J, 4. J Hud, 2. Tiana Taylor. Or sorry, J Hud was 3. Tiana Taylor, 2. Or maybe J Hud's above that. And then Willie from Philly, Will Smith is number one. Let me break it down. Okay, so how I built my list was that you have to be successful as an artist and you have to be successful as a film. Like you have to be big as an artist and you also have to be big in films. And so Ice Cube is a no-brainer. He's done such a wide variety and like he has made at the beginning of the show we were talking about like those wholesome family like contents like yeah like are we done yet, are we there yet, like super family vibes. And then also like comedies like Friday, like a whole franchise into that. Ride Along is another one of his franchises. Well, not, it's a Will Packer, but he's a part of that franchise. And then Boys in the Hood, as we know, was like super classic. It was cult, what do they call it, cult favorite, I think, cult classic, something like that. And then his music career is huge. He's got NWA and his own hits, so he stands alone by himself, like in dope acting performances. LL Cool J is hard as hell. Now he may be more known for television, but like NCIS was running for like, I don't know, Infinity and Beyond and more, like that part. And then as we know, his hits like on that side. So yeah, I mean, I might even put Ice Cube above LL. Tough, but I feel like they're in the same vein. Then we got Tiana Taylor. I feel like she's a new entry. Her last 3 to 4 years of acting have been, yeah, she just kind of shoop skyrocketed. So look at I think it's like 1,000 Miles or something was a film that was dope. We can even go all the way back to the Medea movies, right? She's popped in certain characters or roles, and then this new one in the box office, and then she was in Straw. So I'm like, okay. And then as an R&B singer, Tiana Taylor has put together hits. She like, you know, a hit when somebody just starts the beat, and then you could just play it in the crowd, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna love me." That thing is tough, right? Like, she's got hits. She's got iconic performances on the music side, whether it was her song or not. What was it, Fade at the VMAs? Like that part. And just recently, yeah, BET Awards and like, yeah, Tiana Taylor deserves to be on there. Then J Hud to me goes crazy. So mind you, I feel like we have to count her movie songs into her catalog too, because she's had so many musicals in that she's done. Obviously, the first one was Dreamgirls. She won the Academy Award for that, and then it went on to, didn't she do Aretha Franklin was another one that was super dope. And then it's just kind of endless. And then she's had so many big performances too. National Anthem, Whitney Houston tributes, just like on and on and on, to where you could be like, her music career is dope. Not as many hits in as far as solo, but she does have a hit. But she's up in there. She's up in the mix. And then last but not least, Willie from Philly. Willie from Philly is the number one on the list, and it's not even close. People argue he is just as good as Denzel Washington, which is crazy. And you could argue it. I'm still going with Denzel, but you could definitely argue it. And I mean, to become, I think it was the first rap group or rapper to win a Grammy, like, yeah. And like, think about his music hits that he has. He may not have a whole 20, 30 hits, but like the hits he do have is like, they're major hits. Parents Don't Understand. You gotta just count Freshman to Bel Air theme song is a hit. So we're just gonna count that up in there. Summertimes. Like, he's got hits that you can just press play and then everybody, here's like, yeah, that part. So that's my top five. There's others that we could include. Like, there's definitely some honorable mentions. Always Beyonce. Honorable mention. You could argue Raven Simone. She did a lot of music that's like honorable mention. Who else am I? Which we call it? Nas, Mos Def, Drake. Even though he doesn't have enough acting credits. Like, that's how some of the stuff. Chris Brown has some dope films and stuff. This Christmas is still every year I still play it. So like, yes. Well, who else? There's even like some not as known ones, like Drew Sidora has some pretty dope acting performances as well as music. Mario was in the original Step Up in other films, so he's had some dope music and acting back and forth. Like, I'm sure I could go on and on with the list, but those are my top five. All right, so now it's time for the soul spotlight. So I want to just take a time to, whether it's somebody that I'm working with or somebody that I just saw, I'm like, hey, yo, this is dope, whether it's an actor, director, whatever. So this week, soul spotlight is going to be on Courtney Nicole. Shout out to her. Courtney's been around for ages working, just working, right? Popping in, doing what she needs to do. But she's one of the co-stars on Tyler Perry's Assisted Living, so you can catch her dang near like every Wednesday. They're on season, I don't know, 7. It's just, it goes on, right? Like you just popping them seasons out. But Assisted Living is a comedic show, and it stars Courtney as well as Naeem, and then there's David and Tamlin Mann, because it's Mr. Brown and Cora, right? Make sure you check her out on that. But beyond that, she's just got a really dope resume of work. I know her on a personal level. She's one of my acting coaches when I was in acting class, and still to this day. But she's to me, she's like highly underrated. People don't know how dope she is as a dramatic actress, not just as a comedic actress, because some of her pop-ins have been on like Assisted on The Neighborhood, The Upshaws, which show is like hilarious. It's just like one of my favorites. But her as a dramatic actress is just highly underrated. So I hope that she paints with some of those colors. She's done plays. She's done so many things. But I feel like oftentimes we have people like her, right, on shows, and we don't get a chance to, kind of give them their flowers while you really in the midst of working and doing all these things. And she's just really a dope and a great actress and a great person. So I just wanted to shine a little light on my girl Courtney Nicole. So look her up, check out her stuff, and let's continue to support. All right, folks. So final thoughts on today's show. Something that kind of like stuck out to me throughout the week that just kind of kept popping up was like whatever you focus on is going to be what you attract. So let me say that again. Whatever you focus on is going to be what you attract. If you focus on positivity, you're going to attract positivity. If you focus on winning, you're going to attract winning, right? If you focus on hitting your goals, you're going to hit your goal, right? Whatever you focus on is what you're going to attract. And it to me is like, it's super important that you surround yourself with positive energy and frequency. But beyond that, surround yourself around people who are already where you want to be at, or they're on the bus to go where you want to be at. And the same can be said for negative. If you focus on negativity, then negativity is what you're going to get. If you surround yourself around negative people, then that is what's going to be in your life. If you surround yourself around people who are not executing, then you are going to in turn not execute. If you surround yourself around people who are executing, who are getting after their dreams, then that's what you're going to do. If you surround yourself around a bunch of junk food, then junk food is what you're going to eat. If you surround yourself around healthy food, then healthy food is what you're going to eat. I could just go on and on and on and on and on. But the point is, whatever you focus on becomes what you attract. And so, why am I saying this? Well, I feel like in today's time, in these algorithms that we have, right? How the algorithm, and this is just in general, how the algorithm works is whatever you click, they keep showing it to you. Right? And I didn't mean to preach, but I guess I am right now. So just bear with me for a second. Whatever you click on the algorithm, whatever platform that you're on, is what they're going to show to you. So if you keep clicking content that sends a certain message, you're going to keep seeing that, whether it's an actual epidemic or not. If you click a bunch of just dancing videos, they're going to show you that. If you click things that are going to teach you information and knowledge about finances, etc., right? They're going to show you that. And so not only be careful what you focus on, be careful what you click, because what you click is what you're going to end up focusing on. Crazy, right? Boom, blow it up. And so I say this to say this, right? You hear all the time, block out the noise. Well, how do you block out the noise, Kennedy? Well, sometimes you might just need to put your phone down. Sometimes you might just need to delete the app for a week. Sometimes you might need to just be like, whatever I've been doing, I need to do the exact opposite of what I've been doing, right? Like literal opposite. Because whatever you focus on is what you're going to attract. I think we underestimate the power of our mind. I identify as a Christian. However, I very much believe in manifestation. And I feel like manifestation and spirituality goes hand in hand. Yes, indeed. I feel like there's so much power in what we write. I've literally have manifested portions of my life based off of me writing characters. And I won't get into it right now, but like literally like me writing certain characters, they started to appear in my life. And so I want to continue to encourage you, if you are somebody who is in a place. This is something that most people don't want to hear. Where you are in your life is a direct, unless you're under the age of 18. Let me add that in there for some context. If you're not under the age of 18, right? Even I'm going to give you some wiggle room to 21. A lot of that is environmentally based. But when you are a grown individual, if you are unhappy with your life, you need to look no further than yourself. The devil didn't do it. The man didn't do it. You did it. You freaking did it. You are the reason why you're unhappy. It is the choices that you made or the choices you didn't make. It's the decisions that you made or the decisions you didn't make. It's the energy that you put towards something or didn't put into something else, right? That is how you get there. And it's the same for everyone. This is universal. If you are unhappy, it is typically, unless there's something clinically wrong, and I'm going to leave that in there for an exception, is based off of what environment you're surrounding yourself with, right? Something down to like, turn the lights on, bro. I might have to do a little tip about turn the freaking lights on. What are you eating and what are you putting in your body? Because it could literally make you feel depressed. It could literally make you feel sick, right? 3, what information are you hearing and are you watching? Like, this is boom, right? And then 4, right? What are you focusing on? Because if you continue to focus on the negative is what's going to happen. If you continue to focus on the positive is what's going to happen. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to leave you with whatever you focus on is what you're going to attract. And that's it for today's episode of the Soul Talk. Be sure to tap in with me at The Real Scribe on most of my social media. If not, just type in the word Scribe Cash. It'll all pop up, right? Let me know what we should talk about on next week's episode. Do you want to be a guest? Hit me up. DM me if you want to be a guest on the pod. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Love you. Bye.